Back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. Happy St. Patrick's Day! Yay! I'm wearing my green even though this doesn't really look like it's green, but it's green. I just wanted to film this really quick before I headed off to work. I have a weekend news for you and some good exciting news. So let's just start with the weekend news part. And the first book that I read this weekend was The Friday Society by Adrienne Kress. I gave this 4 stars. It's about 3 girls, obviously. So we've got the magician's assistant, the lab assistant, and then the person who I don't remember what she's considered. She's trying to be like a samurai, so she's like a fighting assistant. That's not really it. Combat instruction assistant. Okay. Whatever, we're gonna get all fancy. And these 3 girls, they have nothing to do with each other. They are living their own separate lives. And then they all, on a chance encounter, meet at a ball, like a gala thing. And they find, like, a dead body, like that someone's murdered, which brings all of these girls together. And suddenly they feel like it's their job to try to solve this mystery. And this is my first ever steampunk novel, so I don't know if that's why I kind of had a hard time dealing with it. This book was not exactly what I was expecting. There were some really, really good parts, but there was also some really, boring parts. So I was very unsure of what to rate this book. I wanted to give it 3, but I wanted to give it 4. I really have no idea if I'm even right with saying that it's 4 stars, which is sad because this was one of my most anticipated books that I've been wanting to read for ever. But I don't know why I keep pointing, but the magician's assistant, she was my favorite character out of all of them. Her name was Nellie. I forgot to say this is Mashinko. She doesn't even speak much English, so she's kind of confusing to read through sometimes unless she's speaking in her own language where they interpret her. And Cora. And they obviously all have their own love stories too. 2 of them kind of have their own love stories in it. Some of it was kind of predictable. People said it was really predictable, but I only was half right with my prediction. So I could see kind of why they said it was predictable. The one thing that kind of irritated me was I kind of wish that there was a complete conclusion wrapping up, because there was a storyline that was going on with Nellie that I really wanted to hear more about, and it just kind of ended and there was no conclusion on that part. So I liked it, but I didn't love it, so this was kind of a disappointment because I was really, really looking forward to this book. So yeah, Friday Society. And the next book I read this weekend was Room by Emma Donoghue. I gave this 4 stars as well. I'm starting to realize that I'm getting very picky about what I give 5 stars, just because I feel like a 5-star rating needs to be a book that I absolutely loved. Because I was thinking back and I was like, well, I could give this 5 stars because I did enjoy it and there was really nothing wrong with it. But then I was like, but there's series that I've read that I've loved, that I constantly think back to, and I didn't even give those 5 stars. So that's why I ended up giving this one 4. It's about a little boy named Jack. He's 5 years old, and his whole life he's been brought up in this room, and it's all told in his perspective, so you totally get his thinking. The rug, he almost treats the rug like it's a person, the stove is a person. He sleeps in a wardrobe, which is like a person. He lives there with his ma, and they are kept there by is his name Bad Nick? Old Nick. And Old Nick is kind of the one that's keeping them in this room. And the narration was very hard to understand at first because it's literally told in this 5-year-old's perspective, and he doesn't always talk like a normal person because he's 5. So that was kind of hard to get used to, but it was a pretty interesting book. Ma finally decides that she wants to escape the room and try to figure out a way to get out. So it's kind of about his experience in the room, and it doesn't all take place in the room, so that should give a hint. I don't really want to spoil it, but I feel like it's not exactly spoiling it because, let's see. Yeah, the fact, the contents, which are the chapters, is presence, unlying, dying, after, and living. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's going to happen. I was also pleasantly surprised, what was I just going to say? That this was fiction, because it reminded me a lot of A Child Called It, which is a true story. So it was very interesting to see how, like, an author who has no experience with this can create this. But the thing is, like, what surprised me was I really didn't have, like, an emotional connection to this book, which I could see maybe why I didn't give it the 5 stars. Books like this usually, like, tug at my heartstrings, and I'm like I cry at the simplest things, and I didn't even cry in this book. So, I don't know, there was just something missing to this book to get me that emotionally, like, 5-star rating. But it was really good. I would recommend it. So yeah, Room. This movie that you're watching. No, this video is getting pretty long, so I just don't want to start rambling. And the good news is Room was book 20 of my Project 20. What? I technically ordered after I finished the Friday Society on Saturday, but that was only because the sale said that it ended midnight PDT, which I later learned was Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So I wasn't sure exactly what that was in relation to Eastern Standard Time. So I didn't want to miss out on the sale, so I ordered Saturday night. So within the next 2 weeks, because they're coming from 5 different locations, I will be having a book haul once they all come in. So I'm really excited. I hope you are too, to look forward to that haul coming. I don't know when. But yeah, those are the books I read this weekend. What'd you read this weekend? Anything good? Let me know down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.